It's the two things you remember about that game is listening to the Minnesota broadcast and, what are you doing, Brett Favre? and then Garrett coming on and Sean just saying you're built for this. And
all right. Next up, we got the sports director from Fox 8, Juan Kincaid. So good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
This is like our sports theme today, man. We got
nothing wrong with that.
Super Bowl coming up.
Yeah.
We got so much to go. Really, we could cover a lot of subjects, but I got to talk about the Saints first.
Okay.
What a season. I mean, if you think about where we came from and where we landed.
Yeah.
Tyler Shough, last 9 games, what did you see there?
Well, I think a lot of people are saying, couldn't he have started the first 8 games? But I agree with Tyler and Kellen in that how they brought him along was the right way. Him being able to do scout team quarterback for the first 8-9 weeks of practice and really go back to when he came in for rookie camp and all that.
That's a great point.
That prepared him for when he came in with 9 games to go and was a guy that did not look like he was out of his moment. Didn't look like he was new to it all. Wasn't pressured. I mean, there were a couple of games where he didn't have great games, but it always reminded me a little bit of Drew Brees when you go back to think about when Drew came here. It felt like he was calm in the pocket, had good presence, and he felt like he still had a chance to win football games. It's what I think this franchise is trying to get back to, having that quarterback back there. It makes you think no matter what game we go into, no matter how much we're the underdog, we have a chance.
There's that confidence.
Because you've got that confidence in the quarterback, and I think he exudes confidence when he walks around.
And you sense that the team is feeling that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to the players in the locker room. When he came in, got his first win, and then ran off four in a row in the month of December, and guys were just constantly saying, Tyler's he's not lost in all this. He's very present.
Yeah.
And if you've got, I've always said, and I remember before Drew Brees retired, people would come to me and say, it's time for Drew to go. He doesn't have it lit anymore. I was like, you know what? You look at the one thing all these teams that don't make the playoffs have in common. What is it? They don't have a quarterback. There are teams that can't get a quarterback. You think about the Clevelands and the Jets and teams like that. And so now we're understanding clearly how difficult it is to win football games if you don't have a guy under center that's competent.
Right.
It's not just going to win more games than he loses games.
That leadership is so important.
Yeah, it's extremely important.
And then the defense wound up being number 9 ranked. I mean,
I think when the season began, we thought if they can be mid-teens, we'd be happy with that and see what we can do on offense. But that defense was lights out. Yeah. That defense kept this team in a lot of games and gave the offense a chance to come around when they had slow starts.
Yeah, so defense, Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, what do you see happening there?
I don't know. I talked to Cam last week, and he has already said he's not going to give this franchise a hometown discount again. It's not going to happen. And I don't think he should because you're coming off a 10.5 sack season. First double-digit sack season was since 2021 for him. He's looking like a guy he's kind of rejuvenated himself a little bit and made himself more valuable to teams that may be looking for that piece that they think they can get them over the top. And I just hope the Saints approach him and say, you know what, let's give him a little bit more money because I think he deserves it. Mickey said it a couple years ago, Cam can play here as long as Cam wants to play here. Well, Cam's already said he wants to stay here in black and gold. But to me, when you get to be in the league for so long, you got to start asking the questions. I'm at the end of my career. I know there's less years to play than more years to play. Do I want to remain loyal to the franchise I've been with all these years, or do I want to find a team I can win a Super Bowl with? Possibility. Saints aren't getting to the Super Bowl next year, we don't think. They've still got some work to do. Does Cam want to chase that ring somewhere else? Where if he goes somewhere else, he's not guaranteed to get as much time on the field as he does here. So I think there's a lot of questions more on his side. Like, what's the dollar amount going to be? Sure. What does it have to be?
Yeah, I mean, and then you got Demario Davis, who's up for NFL Man of the Year again. Yeah. This would be, I think, his 3rd time up. Yeah. Another great leader on the defense.
You know what's funny? We talk to players, obviously, every week. And I remember Sean was asking this question to a lot of players about, there have been times where this team's gotten off to a slow start record-wise, and the locker room is just falling apart. And they said, what's the difference this year? They said, Demario Davis.
Wow.
He's kept the locker room together every week, kept the guys focused on, look, this is a division that you can win, even at 8-9. We're still in this. And so I think his leadership in that locker room is unquestioned.
Like Cam, he's a great dad, too. Cam's,
devoted
with his kids and Demario, with his family. And then we have Taysom Hill, which is a fan favorite as well. So there's lots of love for him.
Yeah, but it felt like that last touchdown throw he had in the dome, it was like his going out.
It's going to be it.
It was him saying, thanks, New Orleans. I appreciate everything you've done for me. And then his press conference afterwards, full of tears. It just felt like he knew it was time.
there'll be a parade for him for sure. Tell me about it. So, Super Bowl this weekend.
Yeah.
We got two great teams. We got Rashid playing over at Seattle. I love saying Rashid Shaheed's name in the dome anytime I could.
It's great to hear.
And then New England, again, great coach there too. What do you see?
I mean, Seattle's defense is ridiculous, and Jigba is outstanding. I mean, I think that, Drake May, Tar Heel from North Carolina, I got to represent. I love what he's done in year 2. I think he's been fantastic, which gives me hope that the Saints can do the same thing next year, get back to the playoffs 1 year. There's no this 3-4 years need to turn around. That's gone. You got to turn it around in 1 year if you draft right, if you do free agency the correct way, and you have yourself a quarterback. I love what Drake May has done with New England. I just feel like that he makes a lot of mistakes with the ball in his hands, but he's really good with the ball in his hands. And he's running the ball, so he's a bit of a dangerous guy that way. But I just think Seattle is just so good. As long as their quarterback doesn't screw things up, I think they don't have a problem winning this game.
I like the East-West Coast battle. That should be terrific.
That's back in your day, the rap battles. I understand. Yeah. East Coast, West Coast. Yeah,
East Coast, West Coast. All right, we have Garrett Hartley on the show today as well.
Did he kick a good big kick for the Saints?
Remember what he did?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Minnesota Vikings, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean.
It's the two things you remember about that game is listening to the Minnesota broadcast and, what are you doing, Brett Favre? and then Garrett coming on and Sean just saying you're built for this. And, I mean, listen, 30 years from now when kids that watch that game are talking to their kids, they're going to say the Garrett Hartley kick put us in the Super Bowl. It's when pigs flew, hell froze over,
They were showing the game yesterday on, they were rewinding games, and that came up, and it just chills that you get. And he kicked 3 in the Super Bowl, too.
Well, to me, it's one of the 3 biggest plays in this franchise's history since I've been here. The first, obviously, being Katrina, opening it back up after Katrina. No game bigger than that, including Super Bowl, than Garrett's kicking in the Super Bowl. I mean, to me, those are my big 3 of 25 years of working in this market, and I would challenge anybody to give me 3 bigger ones than that, because those are the things when you think about this franchise and its most successful times, those are the 3 things I think about.
Yeah.
Getting that dome back open and how emotional that was, and playing the Falcons. I remember talking to Michael Vick and in the locker room after the game, and he was just like, he said, you know what? We just knew we weren't going to win this game. He said, but there was too many things that were going against in this game, and you could just see it on his face. He was very sincere about it, and that game, to me, just stands out as the best thing I've ever covered.
Well, that's a story in itself, too, what Steve Gleason means to this city.
Absolutely.
And how he
Absolutely.
He was a hero anyway, but he became
legend.
Became a legend there.
Yeah.
Look, we want to get you back here to talk about Pelicans. Thank you for representing so well.
No problem.
I know you've been covering that team for a long time, and you've got some great insight there.
Yeah, covered them before they came here. When they were in Charlotte, I used to work in Columbia, South Carolina. I covered them there too. So yeah.
Well, it'd be great to sit down with you and as the season gets into it a little bit further. But thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure.
Particularly the Super Bowl week show.